Hello and welcome. My name is MisterInSayne, and a while back someone asked me to kind of record a session where I go through my thought process on a build. And whilst I was building the staircase tutorial, I found out, or at least I got an idea to make a hidden farm, kind of like this. And then, because of how the staircase worked, I think I could make the top bit also work for the bottom bit and actually like make a hill out of it and then get these blocks to retract and go here basically, and then pull this one down and show the farm. So I'm gonna be working on that. It's not like a great project, but I think it would be fun to kind of show how I work. So basically, the first thing I make sure is whether the idea is possible or not. In this case, I just basically used a modified version of the staircase one, but instead of having it on the top, I have it on the bottom. Now, one of the problems I ran into straight away, because first I had this piston here with that underneath and this one next to it. But the first problem I had with that is that I can't fire this piston until there's a block here that gives this signal through. So one of the ways I figured how to fix that, because if I do this one, it tracks this one, and if I have all three of them here, if I reset this quickly, like this, it pushes it away, and that's a little bit of a problem. So what I figured instead, if I first pull this one, because I need a piston there anyway to pull it down and then sideways. If I use this piston for both locations, then if I do this, it only fires this one, then I can pull it in, pull it there. Oh, that's the wrong one. Pull it there. Then I can push this back and use this for the second one. And then do that. And then I know I can fix this with a timer. But basically, if I push this one out, because of the way I set up one of my triple piston extenders, this is my design that I used in my very first tutorial actually, and this is the first time I used observers at all. But this one is capable of quasi connecting this one to use this piston like so, where it fires. Let me get a better. There, it fires it whilst it's out here. So that same design can be seen here. So once I now fired this one, it actually pulls that furthest one. Then I can pull it, but actually I can't pull it back like this, and I actually need the bottom one again. Then I can do this, and with the timer I can actually fire this at the same time as that to use this one to pull that back. But for now I'll just cycle it twice to get the same effect, and then once more, and then you have that wall, and then we just pull this one in, and then we have our secret farm, and it should be tileable. So this idea is possible. And that's the first step, making sure everything is possible, and that's where you work from. You now also know the sequence that you have to fire everything in, and going back out is just you fire this one first, then you can fire this one. Oh, that's a problem. I did not think that was going to be a thing. Ooh, I can fire this one, however, for the first one. Then I can fire this one. I can still fire this one, but once I fire this one, this is gonna be a problem. Ooh. Okay. I did not think of that. I might be able to use those two in just the right time to make this fire because it's just there. I'm gonna have to do some testing. Alright, so I think I found out a solution because it might actually work in our favor. So when we push this outwards, if we then push this one out and this one, we can use this as the resting position, because then we don't need to do the entire loop. Well, we still need to do part of it, But basically, we can use this for the retraction sequence. And we don't have to dump this downwards. We still need to drag it in, but now if we grab it, it automatically grabs the first one. Then we can use those, grab that in, push this back out, and then we can do the entire retraction sequence. Like so. And then this guy, no once, and then this guy, and then this guy, and then that. So we can actually use that to our advantage. That's gonna work. Okay. I thought it was gonna be a problem, but it actually helps a lot because we can just skip a step of pushing this back up because we can just recycle it. That works a lot better. Okay. So the first step is making sure it's possible, as I just did. I know this is gonna work. Now I know the sequence at which everything has to fire. So the next is to set up, which I already started before. I knew that that was gonna be a problem. That's why it's always good to double check everything by power things in a sequence. You're gonna, whilst you make this timer, because I know that this thing is gonna need a timer, I'm not gonna be able to just make a tileable sequence on its own. This is gonna need a timer because of how it works. Because otherwise the block, I mean you can make it, but the block is gonna be so big and it's gonna be bulky and take a lot more resources depending on how big it is. So generally I make a timer to figure out what I need. And then set things up. I already started a bit of it, which grabs these two, and then I slowly work my way up, like so, and then it grabs, and I still need to do the last one, and then slowly work my way up. I first make one of the sequences, so either extend or retract, and then the other, and then I try to figure out how I can optimize it, what parts I don't need and do need. So basically this is just to see how many ticks everything needs and where it has to go. And from there you have an overview of what parts you can take away or either make faster or just make different sequences instead of having like a linear timeline. Because some parts you can just put like a 5-tick timer between, and then it fires twice instead, and something else does something at the same time instead of having to go back and forth. Basically so. But yeah, I'm gonna work on that next, and I'll keep you updated. I figured I can actually show you a bit, because right now I'm working on I have the first two. I'm working on the third one, and at that point these two are there, so I can actually use this guy. And what the sequence is gonna look like is I first need to push this one out and fire this one, fire that one, pull this one in, and at the same time do this one because I can't do that without the timer. Just doing that, and this guy comes here. So that's gonna be our firing system. We're gonna need that block. First, I set up the first ones that I know, and I know that I need to fire this one tick after this one. So I'm gonna set up a bit that looks like this, and then if we activate that, it does that, which looks like this. After that I need to fire this one, and I already built a part of this. I know I need about this many ticks. I think so. Something like that. So I'll add this guy. And then if we fire it again, let me set it back up. Boop. It grabs it up till here. After that we fire the first one again, which does this, and then recycle that through, and we have to do that at the same time, and then it should get there. If everything goes well. I think at least. Or I have to fire that twice. Maybe I have to fire that twice. So we're gonna need to wire this back. I don't know how long it's gonna take. We're gonna just do a royal amount. And we need to fire both of them at the same time, actually. So I can actually use... Ooh. I can actually use this block for that. But that one has this guy. And that thing underneath. So I'm gonna set that up. Alright. Give me 1 sec to figure that out. Alright, it should be pretty easy right here. Then, whoops. If I fire this block, it also connects to the bottom one. I hope this is enough. Probably not yet. But we'll see. We'll see. Add this back. Then they should fire at the same time. Yeah! And then if I hit this one once more, that happens. So I now have to wire this one to go another time. I think I can just add a loop of 4. I think 4 should be fine. And if we add this guy and fire it. Yeah, perfect. Alright, so that's basically how I figured things out. And then go step by step until I have all of the parts collected, and then I figure out how to put them all together. Yeah. Next part is gonna be the extension. Alright, so for the extension I know I'm gonna need to fire this one first, because otherwise I can't push it out. Oh wait, didn't we have the problem with that? Yeah, that was the issue. Ooh. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, we can use this one. That was it. Okay, so we can use that one, push this one out, use this one to push that one out. Wait, we shouldn't do that yet, because first you need to do that, and then we can do that, and then we have that weird thing that we can do. Push this back out, set this one up, and then we can use this one twice to set it up like that, and then once we have to retract, we can do that again. That was it. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so the first step looks something like this, where this one gets dragged in at the same time this guy pushes out, and this guy 2 ticks after that pushes that one up. Then we have to push these two. We might be able to do them at the same time. So if we fire these two at the same time again, I don't know if that works. It does. Okay. Okay. So we have to fire this one in between. I think I can do that right after this one and then fire these two at the same time. Or I can fire these two at the same time and push this one out and do the rest. Yeah. Hey, I think I got it. It's a bit bigger now and I kept going for a while. So, but basically it'll look something like this. Don't know if I can take another tick off that actually. Let me try this. I think that's gonna break it though. Having one more tick would be nice, however. There we go. Yeah, it just fires once. Okay. Still, it's I'm happy with that. That's pretty quick, and it works just like I hoped. And then from there, I now have to combine them. This isn't too bad. I think I can definitely get rid of a bunch of these things, but for like a prototype, to make sure it works, that's pretty good. And then from here, that's gonna be the first thing in the next one. Nice, and then I can drag it down, drag this down. Yeah, okay, let's get to work. So I'm redoing the first part, and look at that speed. It doesn't even finish any of the animations. That's amazing. Alright, that's perfect. Yeah! Awesome. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, so I'm still working on the first one, and sometimes you can, whilst you're building, you'll be rebuilding it many times over. But that's good because every time you can try and see if it's fast, if you can make it faster. Because I think I can't make this one faster yet. Without this one, now it doesn't grab it. But once I get the right timing with this one, I think I can get it here. Yes. That works. Does this one work already? Because if I get this just at the right time, I can speed everything up. Wait, did I mess something up? I think I messed something up there. Yeah, it still can't grab it. And if I get it right here, with this block there, so it's one tick faster. If I do this then, it does grab it, and that works. So you're saving one tick, which, I mean, it doesn't matter a lot, but it matters in the big, it makes it one tick faster. And if you can do that in multiple parts, it's gonna make a big difference. So basically, over time, you slowly make everything slightly faster and faster until you get everything just right. And that's what you use to build. Those timings, basically. Alright, let's continue! And then if you get it all together and get the timing just right, because this is a loop that should be pretty slow, but I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. That is pretty quick. I think that's very viable to be. Yeah, and then sequence the next and the next. Yeah, I definitely like that. Alright, that's fast enough. Alright. So next is getting this one to fire twice to grab the next one. The one that's here, then fire that one, and then the second sequence. Perfect. Alright, let's do it. So once it's all set up, that's the speed we get. I think that's really good. Now all it needs to grab is, now it just needs to move this one down there, and then the second one. Now we can try to put these ones together and put all three together, I think. Because, yeah, all it needs is the bottom one. Awesome. It looks really good, by the way. I'm very happy with how fast that is. That is so fast. I expected this to be like a lot slower, and now just like this one there, and then this sequence. Oh, that's a bit borked, but that's fine. Yeah, we just add that sequence, and that is so good. Alright, let's go. I found a nice optimization whilst I was rebuilding things or trying to put everything together. So with the triple one, when it's all the way out there, in the middle it has that frame where it basically looks like this. And it has to grab this one, puts it back together, which the one that you can only do if you get the timing right. And basically, if you link these two up together at this point, if you do it once, it grabs those two. But if you fire it again, it fires this one first, so this one can't go. Or at least that used to be the case. Let's see. Everything is set up right. Okay. Yeah, there you go. And now it breaks. So if you first fire at this one, I think the back one gets the up. Am I in a? No, I'm not in a. I might just be a locational thing. So I first have to fire it on this redstone, otherwise this observer triggers first. See if that's the case. Because if I fire it at this one first, is it just that? Those aren't pistons. And these guys. Alright, so now I set it up to this guy instead of the bottom one, and then it's all fine. Okay, so it's literally if this one gets the redstone first, then then the back one gets to go first, and if I fire it on this one, top one gets to go first. However, that's probably unlikely to be the case in every location, and it's just a location-based update thing. Because Redstone has some issues with that from time to time. Awesome. Also, I tried to set it up with a 4-time tick, which as a single one, it works, but once you make a tile, it doesn't work. I'll quickly cut to making it a single one. Now if I fire it, it all works. So once it's tiled, it doesn't work, but when it's not tiled, it does work. And that's something to keep in mind. You might be able to do it if you fire them all at the same time, but I like sequences, so I'm not gonna test that. But I do know those are things you have to watch out for. Sometimes something works, but as soon as you make it tiled, it no longer works, and you'll have to fix it. And that's what happened with the first time I built the, or at least recorded the tutorial for the staircase, and I had to redo everything. The entire recording was just, yeah. Anyway. For now I ended up needing a 6-time minute, which is quite long. So I might look for other ways to optimize it. Also, that basically negates all of the space that we gained by combining those two. It might still be coming useful, but that's a bit of a shame. I don't know. I did things differently here, so maybe there's something I can do with that. I have to look. I also quickly made this one tiled, and I did a quick test, and sadly this one breaks too. So I do need that 6-timer for now, unless I find something else to fix it. Alright, so it's a new day, and I didn't do much after last recording, but basically today I've set up a system that uses all of the parts that are in common so far. It looks a bit chaotic, but it works pretty well. Basically, I have 2 of the piston with observer, so that it only triggers in one state and not in the other. So in this state, it's the part where supposedly it starts off like this, so the retraction system. It pulls it in, and then there is a common system that goes both whenever it extends and whenever it retracts. And during the retraction, this is what happens. It puts it there so that it sets it up to grab this one and this one. And during the extension, it uses the same system with 2 things added, which is this one, which is just a double of firing this back one, and firing this one once extra. And that looks like that. So we have the extension system completely done, and now we just have to add the first withdrawal of this one before this, and then after the cycle. So once it gets to there, does the cycle. We have to add the other system, so grabbing this one and that one. I added the first step for the retraction bit, which is grabbing this one, pulling it back, which is grabbing this one, and then do the cycle. It's not in the correct position yet, but just a rough one. And then, yeah, it loops again. So now we just have to grab the last 2, which is gonna be the hard part. Another one. It looks a little bit ugly. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. So if I hit it, it pushes it out, and then the cycle inwards is gonna do the second one too now, which has to be drawn down, which is a little bit of a problem because this one is connected to the other one, and we don't want that. So I need to split this up to be one way only. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do that yet. I think I'm gonna go I'm gonna be able to do this, moving this down, and then setting this up like so. That way I can actually trigger this without triggering the left one, because these ones are now connected and I don't want to grab this guy. So now I need to somehow time this right so that this guy grabs one, but only on the retraction system. Okay, I can do this. I wired the timeline from all the way back here over to this guy. It's a little bit messy, but I guess like back here is pretty much fine this way. And outwards it still looks the same. Everything is fine. And then inwards it actually grabs it in the perfect timing. And now we cycle the last bit, which is gonna be a mess. I think we're gonna have to go all the way out here for now, just so I can fit it in. But at the looks of things, I have a ton of room here, and I think I know I'm gonna be able to make this so much smaller still. So that's good. So I don't think we have to worry about how big it is gonna be now. This is just the prototype to make sure that I get everything right, and then we can smoosh it together, possibly combine a bunch of things. And not have wires from one side to the other. But this should be fine, and now I just have to move this one there, then I can cycle back and forth. Okay, next step. Alright, it's getting messier and messier, but let's have a test. Outwards is all fine, and inwards. Is it gonna grab it at the right time? Ah, just ticked too late. Okay, so this one needs a tick earlier. I think that's gonna be okay. Let's see. Alright, outwards should be just all fine. Right, inwards. They're gonna mess up. No, that's perfect. Alright, and now I have to cycle this guy twice. And that should be good. The first one has to fire at the same time as this guy. So I can link that up and then have 6 ticks in between and then fire it again. And that should be perfect. Alright, almost. Now for the magical moment, is it gonna work or is it gonna break? Outward all fine, and then inward. Come on. Yeah! Let's go! Alright, so we now have a working version. And let's just make sure it also works perfectly with being tiled. Generally with tiling, 3 is enough because give me 1 sec to set it up so I can explain it better. Especially when you're in working in sequence, like I generally do. Boop, boop, boop. And then those there. Basically, when this piston is over here, it's once this piston is over here, the quasi connectivity doesn't only get it from this block, but it also gets it from this block, which is a tick later. And I can actually show you what happens. I'll quickly just use this one. Basically, if you have this system right here, and you have a piston that is out here, well, we'll use this one for now, and actually we should be able to do this. If you have a piston right here and there's a block over here that's gonna be a tick later because of that, then that one didn't work. Alright, this one should probably work. It stays on. And you get longer timings for the other one, the first one that I showed, but this one is easier to show. Basically, it gets quasi-connectivity from this one as well, because it's diagonal. And it just stays open until, apparently, this guy gets a random tick update. But yeah, it's gonna get stuck. Which one was I working on? This one, the big one. Okay. Let's see if it works on actual proper full-on setup. Alright, so let's see. Outward is all fine. and then inward. Okay, I need one extra tick on the last one. Okay, that's not too bad. That is this guy, which should have an extra tick right here. Okay, I think that's doable. All I have to do is add this guy, get that. It's a bit messy, but that's fine. This is prototype version. So, is everything okay inside? Yes. Oh yeah, let's test this. Outwards all fine, and it's so quick. I'm so happy with that. Inwards is really quick as well. I found a way to, I don't know if I can show you in here. Basically, when one grabs it, and it pulls the second one down, it instantly pushes the next one out, which is so fast. I'm very happy with that. But yeah, there we go. That is the first prototype working, and very messy and ugly, and also big, but it works. So always first go for a working prototype. Make sure that your system works, that you can set it up, that it's not gonna be a crazy system that doesn't work or only works every now and then. But it looks like this is gonna work for any size and anywhere, which is very good. That is really quick as well. I'm very happy with that. And then we still need this is where the farm is gonna go. And then we need a row of blocks here to make sure it also still, it actually looks like a hill. And now we can actually make this a little bit bigger, make it look like it's an actual like dynamic hill, etc. And then grass on top. Yeah, that looks good. I'm very happy with this. Also, I just wanted to say, my forte is definitely not knowing all of the tips and tricks to make things smaller, which is always an adventure for me. My skill is mainly in the determination to make something work, rather than like making a good version of it. I try my best, and like slowly I get there. But yeah, the first few iterations are always really, really big, and then I struggle to make it smaller, and that takes a long time for me. But yeah, sheer willpower and the visualization to to see if something is possible is definitely where my skill lies instead. But yeah, I enjoy it, so let's start making it. Alright, so I made a little mock-up, and it looks like I can actually fit a door in there. The only problem is once I extend this to this one, so this also extends to 3 here, so that it matches up with that thing and this thing. The redstone wiring of this is just a little bit borked. It can actually go underneath, otherwise it's going to be interacting with this one. But it should be possible. The only problem I'm having is once that one is built, this guy is also going to trigger this guy. So I might have to do it exactly at the right time that this one fires. And seeing the setup that we built has that as the main sequence, this guy firing, we can actually always get it at the right time of this guy firing. Although it fires twice, so I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem. Unless we always fire it whenever it is in a place where it doesn't matter. I'm not quite sure yet. I think it's going to be able to work. We'll have to get the timing just right, or I have to find a different way to set that up to trigger that piston whilst it's up. It's gonna be a bit tricky, but I think it should be possible. Yeah, I think it definitely should be possible. So we can actually make a door. I don't like that it's all covered in dirt, but I think I might have to. I can change this guy and whoops. these ones. So I could potentially use those to make it look a little bit more fancy. But I can't change this one because this one is gonna be this third block. Oh wait, no, I can't change these ones either because these ones are gonna be the second dirt block, these ones. Okay. For now I can actually change those, but not those. There might be an option, but that's for further along the line. For now, we have a working system. Proof of concept. We can actually get a door. It's gonna be a dirt door, but yeah, maybe it looks better if I rotate the doors or something. Yeah. I also just started thinking, what if I can make these ones, these blocks, these ones are gonna be one higher, but this one retracts backwards, which is fine. But what if I can exchange these for a fence, and we can actually make this an animal pen? Although, they'll probably give away the location. But yeah, anything that's low enough for that. Basically chickens. I don't know if sheeps are one block high. Possibly. I could potentially put chickens and... Oh wait, I can just put the fence... grab a fence. I can basically just put the fence... Nope, that's not a fence. Right here as well. And now we can have some chickens in there. Then if it shows up, we have both a farm on one side, like wheat and stuff, and we can have a chicken or whatever animal can fit in that block space farm over here on this side. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I think this is gonna be a neat little base. I'm happy with that. I did just realize that with the door over there, we are gonna see this piston right here, and everything else behind it. Also, this is all gonna be filled with pistons, so I might have to look for a different option, because I don't like it when, like, the pistons show. There might be options. We shall see. Actually, I think I have an idea how I might be able to make it work without showing the redstone. If I make it a corner house and basically have this wall retract this area, then have the door kind of like go inwards here, I might actually be able to put in a window as well, or something like that. I'll have to see, because it's going to be a little bit wonky. Or at least in my mind it's wonky right now. I think I can make it better. If we make it a corner, and then have like the little pen for the animals here. Yeah! Alright, let's see if a sheep actually survives. And sadly, no, sheep die when they are exposed to one block setup. Now, I could possibly like pull them down. Also, this is the setup that I come up with. It feels a bit cramped, but I think it's fine. I think this looks like a pretty good base. And then have everything go around it and have like the base, because this wall is going to be used, but you have the base on this side then, which I think should be fine. We might be able to do a skylight, but probably not. I still like this. I think this is pretty good as a mock-up. I need to make sure that that it sets it up so that it still looks like natural, because right now it's just like an obvious corner. But yeah, sheep can't deal with that, but if I drag them down... Oh god, I murdered some sheep. Anyway, if I drag them down, I think it should be possible. However, the problem with that is, if they're standing on, like, over here, and it gets pushed in, I don't know if they fall to the side, so I'm gonna have to test that and see how that all works. Yes. Alright, test sheep has been set up. And that does not work. Okay. Sorry, sheepy. Okay. Yeah, that does not work. I will have to drag the ones underneath that down too. Let's see if that's actually possible. Alright, so I made a smaller version of the big one that we are gonna be building. It's just a two extender with stuff on the top. It's ugly and it just serves a purpose for testing the sheep. Alright, I might need to make that slightly faster on the drop down. The up version going up is fine. It just needs to get a little faster because it still gets hard. Alright, 1 sec. Is that fast enough? 4 ticks. Oh, the side bits don't get pulled down yet. Alright. I don't think it matters much. Okay. No! Sheepy! Alright, it needs to be longer and let me quickly do the side bits too. Okay, be right back. Alright, let's see. Perfect! And then up. Yes! Alright, that might actually be able to go slightly faster. Let's try it again. Yes! Awesome. I love how those went from, let's make a secret farm, to how do we not murder our sheep. I just went into a crazy sheep testing. Yeah, that's perfect. I love the little pop-in that it does. Whoop. Let's try cow too, quickly. Cow. Boop. And let's try this one more time. Okay, the cow does need more time. So if I add a little bit there and add a little bit there. Okay, and now downwards. Yes, that's perfect. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so cows are good too. Obviously, this is going to be slightly bigger in this version, like so. Now we can just have our animals there. Awesome. Probably add a little, like, fence gate. Yeah, that could work. And have the little farm here. I think that's gonna look great. I think that works. Yeah. Alright. I think I got it pretty decently small. It's not perfect yet. It still, like, hangs out a bit in the back. But I think it's pretty decent all in all. And it looks all good. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. Yeah. So this is gonna be the input, and it can just be a wire from down here, from wherever. It's a little bit downwards. I think I can optimize this a bit more. But all in all, I think this is good. A little chance of contamination is only 3 sideways, so that's not too bad as well. I might still be able to make a version that's actually just inside of its own space, and then work this way, and have the startup ones like face downwards or something like that, and outwards here. That might be possible, but I think this is a good setup. I think it's compact enough. So now we can start working on setting up the actual base and figuring out how to place everything, because there's going to be a wall here and then an interruption and then a wall here. And at the same time there's going to be a thing going down here, and all of the bottom ones here, the sheep need to be saved. So it's going to be a lot, but I think we can do it. Yeah, let's figure this out. Alright, so the next step is actually putting it together. Nice. Alright, so it's day 3. I didn't do anything else after yesterday after the recording that you just saw. But on day 3, I started working on a mock-up build, basically the scenario, or at least the scenery and everything. I said put it all together. And while I did, I found out that even though it does it all perfectly when it goes outwards, but when it goes inwards, these 2 pistons, the first 2, completely mess up. And I know why they do it. it's because the cross-contamination, the further out it is, I just didn't test it with enough. Basically, the further out it is, it doesn't get any update ticks from the side. So the cross-contamination of the blocks up here, the quasi-connectivity, make them go wonky and bork out. So the way to fix that, I found, is to add a little side bit that gives a update tick using another piston here, which we can just hide with that, because there's going to be grass over here. This is going to give it an update tick at the right time. If we just extend it, extension just works fine. Then when it retracts, it's going to get that update tick from this guy, which actually makes it work. Which is a neat little like workaround hack thingy. So yeah, I'm glad I found that, because I didn't want to increase the timer, and I might actually be able to decrease the timer with this guy being over here. But I'll have to have a look into that. That would be awesome though, if we can just like hack it that way and make it one tick less or something. Anyway, that's the update for today. I'm gonna keep working a bit. It's not gonna. I should actually be doing the tutorial for the previous Crazy Redstone, the base in the mountain. But my brain, once it's like it's enjoying a project, it's very hard to step away from it, and my mind just goes nuts over it. And I should really be doing those tutorials. So I'm probably gonna take a break from this one in the coming days, and then completely forgot what I was working on, and then try and redo it all. But yeah, that's kind of my work, how I work. But yes. I'm glad I found that little workaround. I might have to test the timings again, because that makes everything easier. Yeah. Anyway, that's day 3 so far. Small little update. I was actually able to shave off 2 ticks in the whole sequence because of this guy now being added. It's been a few days. I managed to pry myself away from this one and actually finally do the tutorial for you guys of the other base. As you guys know, because it's online already at this point. And when I got back to this one, at first I tried to connect the end of this side through under the base, where the base is going to be, and over the base to connect to this guy. But I found out that it isn't gonna work, because the thing that I said about the piston firing downwards here to make it to fix that the first 2 are break isn't gonna work here, because that's gonna be needed here. And at first I did find a way to fix that by placing a piston here, pushing this guy in and out, and that did fix it. But if I have these all extended and these all extended, there's 3 blocks missing here, which I can't fix because, well, that's where this thing goes. So I'm gonna have like what's called double piston extenders upwards here that match these guys. And those are gonna be able to do it, but when I have this guy also pushing into it, there's no way to retract it in time, because this guy is linked to both this piston and gonna be linked to this piston, so that has to fire in the exact same timing. And I can't wait for that with this one, so if I do fire this one too early, do fire that observer early, this guy is gonna push it all the blocks up, and this is gonna be pushed up with all the blocks that are there. So I need to start this one from this side, which actually I do like. I think that's gonna look better. So it basically a sequence starts from here going this way, and a sequence starts from here going this way, so they all meet up in this corner, which I think will probably look better as well. So I'm gonna go for that. Okay, and with that, I think that looks perfect. I now need to shape the rest of the terrain still, make it look a little bit more natural. But I think that looks great. And I think it's good. Let me just flick it. And they should pop up. These ones are supposed to go back, but they don't yet. I think I messed something up. Oh yeah, there we go. Whoops. Almost had it right. There. That should do it. Yeah, perfect. Alright. And then it looks like this in the end. Don't mind the little corner over here. I think that looks decent. And then outwards, it's like this. You fall down, everything gets filled really quickly. And I feel like this can be... I'm still using planks because the problem with grasses is not when it's inside there. It gets swapped to dirt slowly. And that's not something I can fix unless I use Petzl. Which I might actually do. But yeah, I think it looks good. Now we have to create the rest. Put a little farm here, figure out what all we want to plant there. And make a little base inside. I think I want to do a little tree here. What I also could do, I think I should have room for that, is make a fence that pops up around this area. We'll have to have a look on how and what I want to do with that. I quickly rewired everything below, so I actually have the space for the fence. And I also made the sheep pop up later, the sheep and cow over here. Because when they're on this side of the fence, this sequence isn't finished yet, and then they hit this block and die. And I kind of want to prevent that from happening, obviously. So now everything works right. I do need to wait. I also built the farm a bit. I need to wait until there's a pumpkin here. I did get one here already, but it died once I popped everything up, so it has to be there. Which makes sense, obviously. I knew that beforehand. So yeah, now we're gonna build the fences, which is just the setup that I've done the tutorial on already. So I'm just gonna copy that. And then we link everything up and build a terrain around it. Okay, so our template looks like this now. I think it looks pretty good. I added the fences and I put a timer so that the fences pop up last whenever everything retracts, and get retracted first when everything gets retracted. So it looks a little bit like this. And I think that looks really good. I think this looks like a really nice base. I'm very happy with it. And then when it's pulled in, or gets in again, it looks like this. I am a bit worried about the spots that turn into dirt, but I might just have to live with it or turn it into Petzl. We'll have to figure that out. But I like it. Now, the hardest part, or the part that takes the longest, is creating the terrain, because we don't want it to be just a floating block. We want to actually make it look nice. So that's gonna be a long process. There's not much I can explain about that, just yeah, make it look natural, and that takes a long time. Because I like to place all of the blocks myself and figure out a way to make it look decent and make this somehow work with what the nature is around it. I've been building for a while now, and I figured I'd show the progress, and it gave me a few ideas. Basically, what I want is to come from this side, because the base is actually underneath here. I still need to make the base, of course. Basically, come from the side of the base, and because people, this is gonna be, I'm gonna add some stone in here as well still. But basically, people always expect like this smooth surface faces to be the this secret base and stuff. Then I turn around and look at this whilst I flick the lever, and then it shows it where we came from. And I think that adds a little bit of flair to it and to the unexpected part of the video. I think that people will love that. Basically, I'm gonna make this look like rougher terrain, more hilly, and then this probably a bit more smooth hill. I might add a little lake with a river going through it, or maybe just an entire river through here. But I'm not quite sure because this is if I add the river here, it's gonna cut through that. So probably I'm gonna just make a river. I could make it go through here and then this way. That this might be the river. That might look really nice. And I think that means the terrain is done with this. Add the rocks, a bit of coal here and there, the river. I think it might be still a little bit too small because I don't have much yet, but I think as soon as I add plants and stuff, it'll look a lot better. Because right now you can see the distance here, but hopefully the limited render range will help with that, and otherwise I think that's fine. I think that's far enough for a horizon. And otherwise I can make a big ocean over here. So I think that's good. The next step is to add the plants and stuff. I think this looks really good and really natural. I think we can get away with this. I don't think, like on first sight with this all around it, I don't think most people will go will see, oh, that's exactly where the hidden base is. I think they'll look for this first, or possibly other options. But yeah, I'm very happy with it at least. So now we're gonna add the plants, grass, flowers, trees, things like that. Let's go. I've added some trees and grass, and I've even gotten a bee's nest with one of the trees, which just spawned. I didn't add it. But then I started to test this thing again, or tried to open it, and for some reason, whenever I open it now, all of the carrots and stuff die. And I'm not sure why that happens, because it didn't used to happen. So I'm kind of gonna have to figure out why that. It shouldn't. Nothing breaks it, but I don't know why it happens. So I'm gonna have to like do some research because that's a bit confusing. I don't know why that happens. I've never seen that before. Like the pistons go over it, and before it did work. And I think I found one of the fixes. Basically, as long as you can see it, it works. But if you can't see it, oops, it doesn't matter because it's gonna break anyway. So if I break these over here, I'm pretty sure it does work because I can actually observe it. Yeah, now it works. And oh, wait, what? Oh, is it this block? Wait. Alright, so I found out that it's full blocks that do it, but things like shroom lights don't. So I might have to do something with the light. Let me try and replace this with a shroom light and see what happens if I close it up now. Now it's fine. So it has to do something with the light level, probably. I didn't know light level could break things. Huh. Okay, well, that should work then. I just have to make sure that it has a light level somewhere. Alright, awesome. That fixes it then. But yeah, I basically added everything. Also, the cow somehow died, but that was because some stuff glitched out and things like that. Are you okay, Mr. B? You want that flower, don't you? There you go. Go grab it. Happy now? Yeah. Anyway, I like all of the flowers and stuff. I think it looks pretty good. And now I have to figure out how to set up the lever, or what kind of system I use. I might actually use a something that triggers like that, or some other way. Maybe just have the lever, that I place the lever there, but that might work. Because then I can look over here, go there, click, and look back. See it all happen. I think that's nice. Yeah, I'll figure something out. But for now, I'm glad I figured that out. Still don't understand it completely, but should be good. Yeah. So this is after the recording of the short. I want to show a little bit of the last few things that I added. I added a activation setup, which is this. Basically, once you turn this into, I disconnected it quickly. When you turn this into a farmland, it's no longer a full block. So this redstone signal turns off, which in turn turns this guy off, turns this guy on, which makes this push that block forward and turn this back into a normal block like so. Which then in turn makes it a full block again, turns the signal on, turns that off, and retracts it. That sends a signal to this guy, which, if I get it right, there you go, pulls that up, activates that signal, and the other way around. And then once this turns into a grass block, it doesn't trigger any observer, basically. So that's how we turn it on. And the whole thing looks, well, you guys have seen already how it looks, but basically it activates everything, everything goes in, and everything pops out. Like that. I'm really happy with the result. I think it looks great. I think it's a nicer version, a really nice secret base, because it's a lot more compact. It uses a lot less resources than the other base I made. I'm not all too happy with the grass blocks being all weird like that, but I think it's fine. I'm okay with that. And the house looks a bit like this. I didn't really put anything in it. And this door just leads to the outside. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it looks great. I think it's a very successful build. Even though it doesn't do a lot, the main thing is that it just has a triple extender that pulls 3 blocks back in and makes a wall out of it. But I think that's pretty unique, especially because it has nothing on the top. And I don't think there's many triple extenders, especially not ones that can pull 3 blocks and become seamless and flush. Well, it's not flush because it doesn't go up here, but yeah, it doesn't show any of the redstone basically. I'm very happy with that. I think it looks great, and I think I did a good job. I hope you guys enjoyed it, for sure. Spent quite a bit of work on this, but it was an easier build. But I'm very happy with the result. It was easier because I've already, like, you saw at the start, the most of the system was derived from a different system that I've built, and that's where I got the idea from. Anyway, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll probably make a tutorial of it if this isn't like this video doesn't show it enough. I'm very sure that I'm gonna have to do a tutorial of the timing system, so I'll do that for sure. The setup for the retraction is gonna be easy, the tileable part. So yeah, I think it's good. Alright. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys also liked the build. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. I don't know what the next one is going to be. Probably I'm going to focus on doing a few tutorials for a while first, probably. And then see if I get some cool ideas for new builds like this. Sure I will. And I have a few in mind still. Yes. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, have a lovely day!